Hey guys, it's Adam from LUCIDPIXUL and welcome to my 2023 studio tour. If you saw my 2022 studio tour, it's entirely changed. This is not the same studio. You would not recognize this space if you walked in. Who inspired my decision to do this? Well, it's partly my fault because I get bored easily and like to change things around. But I also have three main influences that really kicked me down this rabbit hole. The first to blame is Becky from Becky and Chris, a Newfoundland, Canada-based YouTuber whose design aesthetic, lighting, video production style is just gorgeous. Everything she touches turns to gold. And I thought to myself, I want some of that for myself. So she heavily influenced these choices. The second is a Montreal-based YouTuber. And I'm saying it like that because I'm a Montreal-based YouTuber. I'm based in Montreal, Canada. And his name is Andres Vidosa. Him and his team are tech geeks. They make studio tour and gaming setups and productivity setups and studio design things. That combines nicely. There's a nice synergy between Becky and Andreas's design philosophy. Last but not least is somebody whose videos literally serve as my design curriculum. And that's Nick Lewis, based in Vancouver, Canada. I don't know, is Vancouver, I know he's based in BC. I think it's Vancouver, Canada. Beautiful city. I've been there myself. And what I really like about him is his ability to find that sweet spot between form and function. He teaches, he's a teacher of interior design, but this is a highly functional space. It's not just a place I sit and read. This is where I edit and record YouTube videos like this. It's a place where I record audio. It's a place where I teach art online. It's a space where I produce art, where I game, where I meditate, where my cats like to sleep, where I write. So it has to serve many different functions. Last but not least is a company I've worked with in the past and who I completely love, Grovemade. And Grovemade is a company that were heavily previewed in my last video, and since then I became an affiliate of their products because I just love everything that they produce. And if you want to buy anything, if I inspire you to pick up any pieces for yourself, my affiliate link is LUCIDPIXUL. I'll write it down below in the description below so you can check it out for yourself as well. Please use that link if you're going to make any purchases because you're helping to support a company that I love and it helps to support my channel at the same time and you get a little discount from that. So there's a little bit in there for everybody. So without further ado, thank you for enduring my long-winded intro and enjoy my 2023 studio tour. To start, this is the desk where I record audio and edit my YouTube videos. The desk is from Primecables. The tabletop is a 61 by 30 by 1 inch solid maple tabletop that I purchased at IKEA a few years back. Matching the tabletop perfectly is the second edition Grovemade monitor stand. This one is the large size, which I've previewed in earlier desk setup tours. Sitting pretty on top are my beloved dual Apple Studio displays, which I've reviewed in this video back when I first purchased them. Nestled between them is my M1 Mac Studio that has also been an absolute beast since I picked it up, burning through 4K footage like a champ. Tucked neatly underneath my Mac Studio is my 1TB OWC Envoy Pro FX Thunderbolt 4 external SSD. To the far right is the Grovemade desk tray. Mine is the version that was intended to match the darker walnut monitor stand, but that's only evident when the tray is exposed. I also keep an Apple Magic Trackpad tucked away, which I generally use when I have my iPad Pro set up in extended monitor mode. Speaking of which, my M2 iPad Pro is mounted on the Charjenpro magnetic VESA mount, set up on an inexpensive VESA arm that I got on Amazon. This was a prototype version when I first got it, but it's now available to the public. In my iPad stands for artists video that you can watch here, the Magflott by Charjenpro ranked as my #1 pick for artists and for general productivity. Mounted on the same VESA stand, on a second arm, is the centerpiece of my audio recording and editing setup, the Rodecaster Pro II. This is particularly important because my Shure SM7B, at the other end of the desk, mounted on the Elgato low-profile mic arm, is known for needing a ton of clean gain. The Rodecaster Pro II has no problem handling the Shure SM7B. Last but not least is the Grovemade wool desk pad, now in the new white color. I jumped on it right away when it was released because it perfectly matched the contrasting white accessories in my studio, including my couch, carpet, and library. As you can see, this also happens to be one of Gimli and Link's favorite accessories. My favorite thing to do at the end of a long day is put on some relaxing music, open up a journal, and write my thoughts while one of my little friends has a nap next to me on the desk where I can stop and pet him when I'm gathering my thoughts. Coming from somebody who's been through an entire collection of gaming mice in the past, I'm one of those who actually love the Apple Magic keyboard and mouse. Over to the right is the Maple iPhone Magsafe charging stand. Over to the left of my desk is the Maple Pen Cup that holds some of my favorite fountain pens for journaling. And last is the Maple headphone stand that perfectly houses my AirPods Max. With that said, when Grovemade announced the release of new and more compact editions of their monitor stands, I immediately got in touch with them. The original long model that we looked at before is 46 inches in length. This one is the medium at 13.5 inches. They even have a new smaller version at only 18.5 inches, all made for the same beautiful handcrafted maple and silver aluminum, natural cork supports, and hand-stained with Japanese ink. My personal favorite. This new size appealed to me a lot because I was excited to try different configurations for my desk setup. Two in particular included an iPad Pro extended desktop configuration and an audio editing setup. The extra desk real estate allows exactly enough space on a standard size desk for my Vanatoo Transparent One Encore powered speakers resting on my SoundRise stands. My Blue Sound Node sits at arm's length on top of the monitor stand next to the Apple Studio display. Even though this is a smaller monitor stand, there's still plenty enough space for my trackpad, my external SSD, my monolith headphone DAC amp, and my Grovemade desk tray. Next, let's move over to my new recording setup. You might recognize this as a location where I used to have my extra long dual monitor gaming setup. Yes, things have changed quite a bit. The biggest and most prominent feature of this setup is the Aplarid sofa from IKEA. I have a few throw pillows from IKEA and Structube. I threw in a wicker pillow with matching ottoman from Structube to complement my favorite piece of this entire setup, the 54-inch Grovemade Maple wall shelf that, of course, matches all the other maple accessories throughout the studio and adds that lovely, warm wooden accent. Because I spend a lot of my time listening to music, drawing, reading, and writing, the shelf displays many of my favorite fountain pen inks. If you prefer pencils for writing or sketching, however, then I have a very elegant solution. The new Maple Edition Blackwing pencil set that was produced in collaboration with Grovemade that's designed to perfectly match the Maple Grovemade collection. Lastly, I save a little space on this shelf for my 6th gen iPad mini that supports the 2nd generation Apple Pencil. The frames on the wall are also from IKEA. I originally had the idea of putting my own artwork in them, but I decided I would much prefer purchasing a gorgeous mandala design from my tattoo artist, Julie Hamilton. Last but not least comes the lighting, which consists of one of my favorite filmmaking accessories for setting up lighting in tight spaces, Impact Varipoles. I have them all over my studio for differing purposes. They're amazing for setting up anything, anywhere. All of the lighting is by Aperture Amarin, and all of which run off the Citus Link app, which I can access using any mobile device. For this setup, I use the Amarin P60X, with included softbox and grid as my hair light. I have two Amaran 60Xs, one as a kicker light using the separately purchased Lightbox 4545 grid, and the other is an accent light for the couch using the Aperture barn door modifier. For the rim light, I'm using the Amaran T2C tube light with separate purchased grid. I have two bare Amaran B7C bulbs to accent the picture frames on the left and the right, and a third B7C in this standing lamp that I got on Amazon to offer a bit of fill when needed. Lastly, my key light is an Amaran 200X, which I have set up on a separate Varipole that it can move around the studio without taking up too much space. On that note, thank you very much for joining me. Again, a huge shout out and a thank you to my inspirations, Becky and Chris, Andres Fidosa, and Nick Lewis. A huge thank you to Grovemade for all of your beautiful accessories. Here's my affiliate link, LUCIDPIXUL once again, if you want to pick anything up for yourself. And happy shopping. Take care.